you know, no, no. Live your life, live your life. Let that love inside. It's your life, it's your life. Your beauty's deep inside, inside you. Don't let them bring you down, no. The beauty is inside of you. Don't let them bring you down, no. Don't you know, don't you know? Beautiful, don't you know? Don't you know, don't you know? Beautiful, don't you know? No, 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 no. Take your time, take your time. Take your sexy time. Don't lose your head, lose your head. Your beauty's deep inside, inside you. Don't let them bring you down, no. The beauty is inside of you. Don't let them bring you down, no. Don't you know, don't you know? Beautiful, don't you know? Don't you know, don't you know? Beautiful, don't you know? No, 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 no.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Digital Wealth Wednesdays, guys. I'm your host, the Digital Goat Man, where I talk about pretty much how I navigate through foreign exchange. Now, guys, if you're new to trading, this may go over your head, but for you guys that are seasoned, veterans, OGs in the game, you're right. You're at the right place pretty much, guys. So let's get right into it. Let me go ahead and share my screen, guys. You know, I got to start off with the dollar. And let me set my music up too, guys. You know, I got to be focused with the music, but I hope everyone is having an amazing hump day, guys. You know, when it's not hump day, we still freaking it up, guys. So we're just going to continue from here on out, man. So let's look at the dollar real quick, guys. You know, I got to start with the dollar. It just makes sense. I'm American, so I got to start off with my country's currency because, again, it helps me understand what I'm looking at within the economy, guys. So the dollar, guys, as you see, it's been on a downtrend, whatever you want to say, guys, falling, selling, whatever the case may be. But, guys, again, for me, I'm looking at this as more as a correction phase. I know we've had a lot of talks over the past couple of weeks. Are we in a recession? Are we not in a recession? Again, I'm going to stand by what I believe, guys, based off the data that I've been acquiring. And I don't believe that we're in a recession, but that's not this talk for today, guys. Let's just overall look at the dollar. Well, not just the dollar. Let's look at the market. Look at the data that's being presented, but also let's focus on candlesticks patterns today, guys, right? Now, again, I myself, you know, guys, I look at candlestick patterns to pretty much make a decision within the market. That's not, excuse me, that's not my only way I analyze the market, but it definitely helps having pretty much pictures, illustration, shapes, guys, that literally give you a better direction in the market once you understand, you know, foreign exchange in its entirety. So right now, guys, as you can see, the dollar has been, you know, selling a little bit. I do have a zone that if the dollar reaches it, which is pretty much my 786 of my Fibonacci, if you guys are familiar with that, for the dollar to bounce off, right? Now, let's look at the 10-year, the 10-year the 10-year yield bond, guys. I don't know. I always get tongue twisted saying that, guys. Now, I recently showed on my Instagram, guys, pretty much a snapshot of what I was looking at overall last year when it came to either it was last year or the year before when I came to looking at the 10-year bond, right? Or I'm gonna just say 10-year yield, whatever the case may be, guys, right? So again, When you're just looking at reversal patterns or trend patterns in the market, guys, I identified a head and shoulder early on. Now, I wasn't able to utilize this information accurately to make a decision within the market whenever I drew this up. Yeah, it was about, yep, 2020. I actually drew where I believe the head and shoulder would be. I think it was like shy of that. I mean, the right shoulder would be, guys. And as you can see, the market has pretty much aggressively, bonds in the market, guys. US bonds have aggressively been up on the up tear, guys, an uptrend. Aggressively adding value within, the 10-year bonds, guys, right? So I didn't know how to use this data. I do know how to accurately use this data now, guys. And if you look at it, it kind of responded to what the dollar did, guys. If you look at the dollar again, it's been on pretty much showing signs that it wanted to potentially start selling off, guys. Again, I don't see it as like a hard landing. I just see it as like a recovery phase because overall the dollar is bullish. But let's not get into that boring information, right? I know you guys are probably here to, try to analyze the market, see what you can get in and find yourself, guys. So let's go on to what I was going to overall be looking at, but let's step into news first, guys. I got to do a top-down analysis. It just makes sense for myself. And I do not have any music playing, guys. Hold on real quick. Now, my news outlet of choice, guys, would be my FX book. I don't know what you guys are using. I know some people are using Forex Factory. I know some people are using investing.com. Bloomberg is another one, but I only go on there for specific purposes. I don't normally use it for my entire foreign exchange catalog, guys. So we just go to, if you use my FX book, just go on my FX book, come down here to the economic calendar, and it'll pretty much take you to all the news that's being presented for that day or yesterday. You can pretty much go up to these tabs over here, guys, and siphon through what you want to look at, whether it's this week, next week, tomorrow. I normally start off with this week, guys. It just gives you a better depiction of what's going on with news. But let's just focus on what's been going on today, right? And what is that? Today's the 10th. Yep. Euro news with inflation rates, guys. Same thing with the dollar. As you know, the dollar aggressively started selling this morning for all my traders out there. So now we're up into Japan's news, right? Now, Japan has news talking about Mountain Day. I'm not even sure what that is, but if you don't know what that is, guys, if it allows you, you can click on it. If it allows you. No, this doesn't allow me for whatever reason. So I'm guessing that's a holiday. I'm not sure if that's anything to be concerned about. You would have to do the research on your own. Again, new data being presented, guys, such as holidays. So I would have to look that up to see what the deal is with that going on in Japan. If you look at the impact, it's saying none. So I'm not sure if this requires the bank to be closed because of Mountain Day. I'm not sure, guys. But the next news that we have going, popping up, guys, and as you see, most of my news is pretty much on the impact as far as like the intensity of the news. I only pretty much have highlighted my medium and high risk, guys, based off the impact. So that's basically going to tell me if, it's super volatile or it's, somewhat volatile, or if it's just regular news and not volatile at all. Understand each piece of news, guys, affects the market differently. So it could be aggressive, but just because it's showing that, that it's not going to have like a high impact or it's going to have a low impact, that doesn't mean that it's not going to make the market react in a way that you're not expecting, right, guys? So the next thing we have is euro. Oh, I like this. Let me look at this real quick, guys, actually, because I've been following the euro, pretty much trying to figure out what its overall objective is, because again, guys, there has been a lot of talks within euro trying to phase away and find their own external source when it comes to energy, guys. So, I mean, obviously oil, but, with the war going on in Ukraine against Russia, euro is not trying to pay or pretty much get funded from Russia, which is pretty much one of the largest oil trading reserves out there, guys. Russia's a big impact when it comes to drilling oil and stuff like that. So within euro, well, France alone, the entire European countries, guys, they're pretty much not trying to do business with Russia because of their violation on them trying to start war or pretty much invade Ukraine, which I haven't even really been following that. I'm not sure what's going on with that. But guys, it pretty much didn't give me any information at all. The only thing it directed me towards is a website. So this is information you guys can utilize. You go on top of the website, start seeing what that website is saying. It's taking you to the IEA, so the recommendations, blah, 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 IEA summaries. So, a website probably for Europe, giving you, information dealing with their economy, such as energies, fuel deposits, things like that, guys, if you just look at my page. So, a lot of information that unless you're really trading that currency, you may not have a need to even look at this news. But again, it's still good information for one, for you trying to understand whatever currency you're looking at, because even though this may not be attached to necessarily the yen or the dollar, it could have an impact, guys, especially like when you look at it globally. So don't shy away from this information over here. And let me see what we got coming up. All right, euro. So that's in 8 hours. So that's at 4 a.m. 3. Let me make sure what my filters. Where's my filters at? I won't worry about it. So I'll look later, guys, but I was just trying to see what other low impact news that we may have for, news that's coming out within like the next hour, 2 hours, pretty much all the way up until 10 o'clock. As far as aggressive news, the only thing I see is China. I don't trade, what is it called? The yuan. I don't trade anything China related. I don't recommend anybody trades any currency within China, guys. So pretty much information that I don't need. So at this point, the only thing we can use to make determinations, unless besides like market sessions, opening and closing, guys, is price action. So that's what we're just going to focus on. We're going to focus on price action, guys. Let me pull up my chart for y'all. All right. I do want to look at the USD ZAR real quick. Let me pull that up. I have been looking at that because, again, guys, me staying with the dollar. Now, I don't have any information on the African ZAR. So this kind of like, the only thing I can go off of is one, price action, but also what the dollar overall is doing, guys. I do understand that the dollar has been, on a selling tear or a correction phase is what I would like to say. I don't really want to use the word selling because we don't know it's selling until it starts breaking certain parameters. So as far as like USD ZAR, which is the United States dollar against the African, South African rand, pretty much I'm looking at it to remain bullish, guys. If you look at this overall, just price action, we're just talking about price action on a monthly time frame. The market has been breaking previous highs. Let's go into like basics of foreign exchange. Breaking previous highs and returning to those areas to retest to continue, guys. Now it just depends on how aggressive the momentum is. Does it want to do I don't know, a 50% retracement? Does it want to do a shallow retracement, a deep retracement, whatever type of retracement it is, guys? As far as the momentum looks to me, just without even changing it to Heikin-Ashi candles, guys, the momentum looks strong to the upside for me. Once you see a doji followed by a bullish candle, especially on like a monthly time frame, guys, look at this. I'm gonna scroll in a little bit lower. So you see how this doji is formed and you have this aggressive bullish. This pretty much signifies that the market is in fact bullish. Now, this will be a reference point that the market will try to come back to eventually, guys. That's why I'm confident in saying that if it doesn't try to do that, now, as far as I'm seeing that the momentum is still strong to the upside. Let me change that to, I just try not to make it super confusing for you guys. Let's just change that to red. All right. So this could be a potential area that the USD ZAR could return to, guys, when it decides to retest this. Again, if I change it to Heikin-Ashi, I'm positive that, I haven't even looked at this aggressively like this, guys. I'm positive that it's going to show aggressive candles to the upside. What is it showing? Aggressive candles to the upside, buying candles, however you want to say, uptrend. You know what I'm saying? Strong momentum, hawkish candles, guys. it is in fact showing aggressive momentum to the upside. So that pretty much, you know, signifies that eventually against this currency, the dollar will turn around, but specifically the dollar against the African rand will eventually start moving to the upside, guys. You just have to play price action because, again, now we don't have, once news plays a factor, it could change not the entire bias, but how aggressive like the recoveries or the retests are, guys. So that's something that I wanted you guys to look at. Let me go ahead and put on my music. I'm over here about to lose my mind not having my music on, guys. Hold on real quick. We're doing smooth trades today.
Else, you're free to freelance. Feel free. That's right.
We've been knowing each other for a while. I'm into you. Just want to know what I gotta do, you know, to get closer to you.
I hope that's not super loud for you guys, man. But let's look at what I was even looking at overall, which was the euro. So I was looking at euro USD. I pretty much have my own parameter set, guys, but let's talk about it in utilizing candlestick patterns. One, candlestick patterns, but also trend. Well, yeah, candlestick patterns. That's what it would be. Candlestick patterns. So no, I'm saying the right terminology, guys, because sometimes people get it confused when they're saying candlestick patterns and they're meaning trend patterns. So there is a difference, but understand, you know, overall with candlesticks, you're looking at, you know, a point that the candles are giving you for a point of entry to determine what the market may be doing, guys. But trend is like a series of patterns connected together to identify 9 times out of 10 a reversal or continuation in the market, guys. So just right here, let's kind of get rid of this. I want to keep this zone. What is that? 3591. 3591. I want to keep that just in case the market decides to go up. So guys, just right here, we have a closure. Now, the only time you really can identify a candlestick pattern, guys, is if you have a closure of that candle. You can, and I want to say this loosely, I guess, anticipate, or really, I guess the stronger word would be guess. Guess if the candle's open, but you don't want to get trapped into that, guys. So many times I have been on the receiving end of getting trapped into what I think may happen versus just waiting for the candle to close, guys. You will have a better time as a trader, guys, waiting for the information to finish versus trying to be the aggressive trader to hop in, guys. But again, it's your journey, it's your money. If you're somebody who's aggressive, I understand, but at the same time, what is a little bit more patience? What is waiting half the day, you know, especially if you're already busy, to be able to make an accurate entry, have little to no drawdown, get your money, go throughout the day, guys. The game, well, I wouldn't say the game. The goal is for us to not stay in the market entirely, guys, or the entire day, because if we stay in the market, the longer we stay in the market, the longer we're putting ourselves at jeopardy to lose money. I'm talking from experience, guys. Now, you may not know what this candlestick pattern is, but you know, some of my people on YouTube, I'm pretty sure you guys know, I've talked about it a lot, guys, which is an evening star. Big, how can I say this? Significant candle pattern, guys. Significant candle pattern, especially when it's on a semi to high time frame. 4 hour, I do consider that semi to, you know, medium high time frame, guys. Semi high to medium time frame, guys. So let's go ahead and label that evening star, right? That's way too big. Let's put a border. So evening star. So this, from this bullish candle to this doji, this long leg doji to this bearish candle, guys, is considered an evening star now that we have closure. Now, some people are like, well, okay, it's an evening star, but normally wouldn't you see, if this was a valid evening star, wouldn't you see, or if this was considered an evening star, wouldn't you see the bullish candle be shorter or, you know, equal to? Absolutely not, guys. Don't wrap yourselves in the market by believing that what I see as an illustration or what I see as far as depiction of a candlestick pattern has to show up the exact way I saw that picture. Absolutely not, guys. But again, you have to discern what you see in the market, guys. Me, this is good enough for me to say that, yes, this is the evening star. Now, I definitely would like it way more aggressive, but I'd rather have it, you know, this bearish candle probably short because it has less room to travel versus it being like all the way down here. Now it has the possibility where I would have to wait maybe like a whole nother half day for it to return to, you know, a suitable entry that I would like to take, guys. Now, with this, I do see heavy momentum to the downside. I do like, you know, pretty much finding a candlestick pattern like this because it gives me time to discern what's going on in the market and again, make a decision within it, guys. So if we just look at it, you have normally evening star is going to be, no matter how aggressive, bullish, bearish, bullish, doji. It could be either or, guys, and then a bearish candle on the opposite side. I would definitely like it to be either equal to or more aggressive. That kind of tells me that, you know, the market is definitely trying to make its move down there. But while we have this shallow bearish candle, guys, this is kind of telling me that, okay, we're not gonna be aggressive to the downside, but at the same time, we're gonna make our push down. So the time it takes for it to retest, when it starts breaking these levels, we pretty much put ourselves to one, capitalize off of X amount of pips, 30, 40, whatever the case you're looking at. Nothing guaranteed, guys, but you know, the possibility of 30, 40, waiting for another retest, getting our 30, 40 again, before you know it, by the end of the day, you have 100 to 200 pips, guys. You see how that's pretty much working? So identifying these patterns could put you in the realm for that. I'm not saying there's any methodology to pretty much finding, you know, identifying this candle and it's like, oh, well, you know, it's going to go 20 pips. I would tell you that that's a good starting point for you to have, knowing that the market could fluctuate anywhere from 25 to 30 pips. But, you know, that's not signifying that, oh, man, okay, aggressive bearish candle, right? So that should be like a 200 pip drop. Like, nah, that's not how it works. I wish, but that's not how it works. Guys, you get what you get. You know, you aim for pretty much areas that you believe that the market may bounce off, return. Definitely using EMAs, and we'll talk about that on another video, guys. I'll probably do a short video this week about how I personally utilize my own EMAs. I'm not an aggressive indicator trader, but what I will tell you is that it definitely helps, guys. I used to be the guy that's out here like, I'm a naked trader. I don't use price action. Price action will whoop your ass if you don't see, you know, some of these images, you know what I'm saying? Some of these areas that the market could actually bounce off from you, right? Now, pretty much what I'm looking at, guys, you know, the dollar is not open right now. It opens somewhere towards 7:30, 8 o'clock. But we know we have that, you know, gap in the market that normally happens around like 8:15, 8:30, anywhere in that block time. So I don't accurately, you know, pinpoint the market from this perspective until I have like a little bit more data. Now, as we're getting closer and the market is aggressively showing me like, yeah, I want to make that move, then yeah, I will pretty much make a move or make a decision within the block time of the Sydney and Tokyo session. But until we get into like 8 o'clock, I'm not really trying to make a move. I'm just trying to analyze what's going on in the market. Oh yeah, one thing I will say, last week, guys, our GBP JPY, now it just depends on where you entered. Depending on where you entered, you probably hit stop loss. If you entered at my original entry, you probably hit stop loss, guys. So I will take that. I will pretty much go ahead and say that we took a L. Now, I entered lower. I entered lower when we were in drawdown, so I was still in profit. But I know some of you guys may have just been following direction, so we took a loss. That's actually our first loss since I started doing the YouTube venture, guys. Now, 4-hour time frame. How high could this pretty much possibly reach before we could find an entry? Well, again, guys, 38 to 50%. It just depends on what I start finding when I start breaking down the market on smaller time frame. If there's a doji that the market could potentially return back to, if there's an area that I just didn't spot initially that the market could return to, things like that, guys. So again, the momentum is aggressive. This is your starting candle, but we know we will have a retest either up here or 50% of this move. But as far as I'm saying right now, guys, the aggression is to the downside. Let's look at the Hakanashi candle. Well, momentum, if you want to say it like that, if you don't want to say it's aggressive. So you guys see this showing signs that, yeah, we're definitely aggressive to the have momentum to the downside, but we don't have strong momentum yet, right? What that is telling me is that we have the possibility of an aggressive retest, guys, for us to pretty much sit on our hands, wait. If not, we would probably wait for price to break this area and return. So overall, I'm still strong on my bias, like overall for the euro. If you guys remember, I was talking about it last week where I said, if the euro pops back up, and I don't remember my parameters, let me change it back to regular candle. I mentioned that if the euro decides to pop up, which it did, it'll probably come to, one of these areas up here. I can't remember where I analyzed it at, guys, but one of these areas up here and then start its, downtrend, guys, because again, it has to retest. If you just pretty much look at this candle that it retested, guys, until it creates a new monthly candle, gotta respect it. 786. 786 has definitely been a hot point that the market has been attracted to. If you guys have noticed that, from our experienced traders, if you noticed that and you've been popping your fib on there, especially on higher time frames, it's been attracted to that 786 and respecting that 786 well. Right now, we don't have any strong momentum other than we had consolidation here. So in theory, on this monthly time frame, we should start to see the euro start to decline, guys. Now, it just depends on what goes on with the news that we have, because again, I didn't look at the news for the rest of the week, but it just depends on what news may make the market react. And you start breaking it down, you start downsizing it to smaller time frames to see, are we trending or are we moving sideways? That'll give you a better depiction on what's going on within the market. Now, because we're about to hit 730, I know not to primarily enter in at 730, guys. So I want to see what the market is going to be doing at 730. So just with this initial move right here, this kind of tells me that the market could potentially spike up right here. Hold on, guys.
Heck, we've been knowing each other for a while. I'm into you. Just want to know what I gotta do, to get closer to you.
Now, I'm in a situation. Why you even... Don't do this. Why are you tripping like that?
Well, I understand that, but your whole vibe is,
You probably know Vistaprint for business cards, but did you know we
My bad, guys.
And that.
What is going on right now? Anyway, he'll start playing. But just right here, potential, spike to the upside, guys. As you see, my 21 is hovering below that, pretty much giving that bounce up. But now we have my 13 and my 8 that's pretty much rejecting this, guys. So we'll have to pretty much wait for a little bit more data before we actively, look at this. Look to enter in this market. But I will tell you that for the euro, I am looking at a potential sell, guys, to the downside. All right, I'm looking at a potential sell. But again, let's keep it basic in trading, right? Let's keep it basic. Have an area that the market broke out over here. this could be an area where the market decides to return to. I could definitely see that very easy, guys. And let's match up our fib to it. What time frame was that? About 38%, like we said, about 38%. But again, guys, I still want a little bit more data. So the market got a little bit aggressive this morning. So I'm pretty much waiting for it to correct itself. And what I think is going to happen, I think it's going to start breaking these areas as far as like these support zones that I have below you guys. That's what I'm looking for overall for Euro USD. Now, what I will say to that, because I've been trading oil, when I've been looking at Euro, every time the Euro has been selling, I've been seeing again, because of its relationship where, you know, you look at the economy, you look at the world's economy, what the talks are going on, especially like with President Lagarde out there at Euro Central Bank. Guys, again, Euro has not been trying to buy oil from Russia. So what has been happening is that every time I've been seeing that, you know, whether oil was on a down tear or, you know, uptrend, Euro has been showing signs of doing the exact opposite, guys. I don't know what Europe, I say Europe. I'm over here tripping. Anyway, I don't know what Europe expects to do, guys. Again, that's kind of like above my pay grade when it comes to all this information, but I have enough to determine within price action, guys, that as far as we see right now, one, just looking on the hour time frame, I like that we identified this, guys. If you look at this, this is a morning star. What did we just identify on EU, Euro USD? We identified an evening star. So let me label that for you guys real quick. So it's funny how I'm talking about them doing the opposite against each other, right? And we see two different opposite patterns that are strong in relation. Now, this would probably be your ideal, you know, morning star, which would signify a buy position. Can I even label this? Does this even let me label? No, this doesn't let me label. Where are my... I always do this like I've never been on TradingView. Anyway, here we go. So evening star, right? I mean morning star. Y'all know what I meant. Let's make this, I don't know, that color. Yeah. So this whole image right here, and I'll box it up for you guys. Let's make it the same color so y'all know. So this whole pattern is a morning star. That's what this is considered, guys. Morning star. But it's crazy how we can look at Euro USD and look at the opposite halving, right? Because if we do this now, let's do this. Let's do this. Was that on an hour, or that was on a 4 hour, right? That we saw that. It may not be the same, but this is stuff that I like doing that I find interesting, guys, right? You got to have fun with trading. You can't just be, depending on what you're doing throughout the day, guys, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, right? Or clone this. And I'm going to go to back to Euro USD. Now, we don't have enough data because, it's not 8 o'clock yet. The market still is trying to catch up to the sessions. Right now, it's not even the session for Euro USD. So not really something I would be heavily looking to, try to get in right now. But at the same time, I'm keeping my eye on it. So if I go back to the 4 hour time frame, now it's not going to be a light, but I want you guys to see something if the market starts trending in that direction. How come it's not? Guess I had to copy it. So I know some of my experience, guys, y'all seen me do this before, where I pretty much match up another, here we go. Every time. So every time I copy it, it shows up like extremely big. So I always have to like pretty much straighten it out. So give me a second, guys, because I want you guys to see this actively with your own eyes. Now this doesn't give, you know, the green light that, yo, it's gonna happen just like this. But being able to travel that pathway, guys, is the important part of seeing something, identifying it on another pair that could affect that currency, you know, especially when you're talking about like metals, energies, things like that, guys, and being able to pretty much paste it over, you know, that movement in the market or that data in the market, guys, and get almost the same results, but not just super accurately, you know what I mean? All right, so what I have to do is not flip it, mirror it. There we go. All right. And that was on the 4-hour time frame that we had that. Now it's gonna be in like this line pattern, guys, so don't try to rack your brain like, well, I don't see the candlestick. Each one of those lines are representing like the candlesticks, guys, all right? So again, you know, you saw that evening star was a little bit different than that morning star. So that morning star, the bearish and bullish candle, they were pretty much equal to each other. So you won't have the exact depiction, guys, but close enough, right? Close enough. All right. Again, not the same thing, but wouldn't that make sense based off of what we were just saying, guys? Now, I pulled this from oil. I pulled this exact pattern from oil, guys. So wouldn't that make sense if, wow, man, if we're talking about one basic structure within the market, if the market started falling from here and we needed to wait for a retest, that we can, you know, almost accurately say the retest is going to come within this zone. Again, it's not going to be like pinpoint accurate, like exactly like what you would like to see, but close enough, guys. You know what I mean? Having a scenario that's close enough where this makes sense. And I'm seeing it happen on the opposite end with oil. Is that starting to ring a bell with you guys? Is that starting to like pop some light bulbs in your head? Well, it's like, wow, I didn't even know that I could use a currency, match it up to an asset, energy, you know, metals, things like that within the market. Hell, you can even do this with indices, guys. You know what I'm saying? Just find how strongly attached that indice is to that currency, guys, right? So that makes sense based off of what we've learned in marking up the charts and based off of price action. Wouldn't a scenario like this seem like realistic, guys? Let me get my brush. All right. Wouldn't a scenario like that seem realistic? Absolutely. A scenario like that would seem realistic, guys. And we got this information from oil. The only reason why I was able to match these up, guys, again, because I've aggressively been looking at, you know, countries' currencies, dealing with their, well, not just countries' currencies, more so their economy, what's been going on within not necessarily a world, because as we know, some news is not news that we need for data within the market, guys. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it is. So when I'm looking at this information, I'm trying to figure out how can I apply this, one to price action, but one to the information that I'm getting from the market, guys. You understand that? So, using this would, it won't do the same thing on, oil, but having that scenario present itself. What was that on the hour time frame that we saw? Makes sense to me. You see what I'm saying? Makes sense accurately. You know what I'm saying? So if you just follow your technicals based off of your information, you should be able to, find an entry within the market, guys. Again, I've been, we already have the green light that on the hour time frame, as far as we know it, unless the market decides to come, all the way back down here, which I do not see that, we can undoubtedly say that oil is, a hawkish, bullish, showing buy potential, guys. And again, turn it to Heikin-Ashi to see how strong that momentum is. Looks like that momentum is pretty strong to me based off of these 1, 2, 3, 4. I would probably say these 3, but right here I definitely could see the aggressiveness in the market, or the more momentum to the upside, guys. Now let me draw out an analysis real quick for you guys, because I know I did that closer towards the end. I want to go ahead and try to knock that out, because if it does, pull into our positions. Now, the only thing with oil, I'm not going to do oil because, again, guys, like, the spread is different based off the broker. I have this TVC broker. I need to find another one on TradingView. So it's going to be completely different by, a couple of pips, maybe even like 20, 30 pips, based off of your own personal broker. So what I would tell you guys is that, one, we have strong momentum to the upside. So if we're talking about strong momentum to the upside, now match this up to your own MetaTrader 4, right? If we're talking about strong momentum to the upside, unless the market is going to take off from here, which is not 8 o'clock yet, we probably would look at an area such as like this. Now, if it wanted to do an aggressive retest and not have momentum to the upside, then what we're probably looking at, let me change this. What we're probably looking at is the market to return like somewhere down here. Make sense? Probably somewhere down here, we're looking at the market to return to. Either way, you have 2 entries. So say you get this entry, market shoots up, and then, I don't know, Friday decides, hey man, I want to come back all the way down here, or next week, I want to come back all the way down here to collect this. I could see that happening, guys, if the momentum's not strong for next week. So you have 2 areas that you could potentially look for oil to buy. Now, I know last week we were talking about the buy for oil. We did get the buy. So if people, marked up the charts themselves, you did get the buy, but the buy wasn't valid forever, guys. I think we went about like 200 pips in profit, which is good for oil. Like 200 pips, maybe 150 pips in profit, and then pretty much did a reversal and, eradicated anybody that was buying. So, if you didn't take your profit, guys, and you tried to hang in for the long game, oil probably wiped you out. So let's not do that. Let's go with our parameters, right? Now let's look at Euro USD. And the only other thing I was going to look at was, I think, GJ. I don't know. Yeah, I think GJ. So, yeah, I'm on my call. What's up? That's my son, guys. They don't listen. They got hard heads. All right. We're gonna have to pretty much come back to that, guys. I don't like how that's looking. But if you guys just look, what I can honestly see happening already is that, you know, what I'm expecting is that when it's finished with its retest, that the market pretty much tries to recover all of this movement from this morning. This happened at 8:30, guys. Look at this. At 8:30, give or take, 8:45. No, 8:30 on the dot. 95 pips. That's ridiculous. So pretty much 95 pips retest, and the entire move was 126 pips, guys. Now this is Euro USD. So with this being Euro USD, guys, I know that it's going to try to recover probably way more than that. So the market may have shot up aggressively like 120 pips, but we could expect that, you know, once it does its returns, the market could potentially, you know, shoot down 200% over this, 100%. So obviously we know our base mark is 120 pips. So it could pretty much blast below that, guys, having like a 240 pip move. It's going to take its time to do that, but if it is going to happen, it's going to happen either today, tomorrow, or like towards the end of tomorrow. Don't get wrapped up with that ideology, because you have the potential for like more pips to gain in the market potential. You know what I'm saying? Just understand that could very well be the move. 9 times out of 10, when it creates these moves, the market is going to, you know, take out more than what it gave out initially. Even though I do give this philosophy that the buy is longer than the sell, you know, when it's time to make those recovery areas, you got to look at that higher time frame and see, all right, is the market aggressively to the upside? So do I still have more potential to go up, or do I have potential to come down to a better buy position? That's all you got to think of that logic, guys. Am I coming down to a better buy position? So let me see if the dollar's open so I can kind of get a sense of things, guys. I do believe we have a potential sell, and the dollar is open, right? So the dollar is open right now on, got a 4 hour. Did we get a gap up? Let me see. So I still believe at 8 o'clock, we'll get our gap up or gap down. That'll kind of give people a little bit more sense of what's going on in the market. But if we look at this is just consolidation. Normally, when you have consolidation, guys, outside of consolidation, it's normally going to follow the move that it made prior to. So within this consolidation pattern, if this, you know, has a breakout to the upside, obviously the breakout will probably be aggressive and not allow you to necessarily get in, guys, following the previous move that it made, right? Yeah. Let's go to our good friend Hakanashi. Momentum. Strong, I mean, you know, not a lot, but strong momentum. I can definitely see it carrying itself all the way to, you know, these indicators up here, guys. You can kind of use those as reference point. Not all the time, but if you're looking at areas that the market may attack and then reject, I definitely would tell you, you know, having the right indicators will help you be able to spot that without, you know, giving yourself a panic attack on where's the market going, all right? Oh no, I meant to look at that on a higher time frame. See how far, you know, that my 21 is traveling. Yeah, so any one of these areas that the dollar is going to return to, guys, it's going to pop up, reject that until it's ready to actually, you know, take flight from here. But again, it's not 8 o'clock, so I would like to see what the market is going to do. But just identifying this candle, since we are still talking about candlestick patterns, guys, this is a good candlestick to identify as well, which most people don't realize. This is a bearish harami, all right? So a bearish harami normally is at the end. Oh, and I didn't even give you guys a depiction of evening and morning stars. So both those patterns, guys, same thing with this pattern, normally are at the end of their trend, or quote unquote at the top or bottom of their trend. I don't normally say at the end. I normally say like, at the highest point or lowest point, if you're looking at morning star, lowest point, if you're looking at evening star, highest point possible. Now, bullish Harami, excuse me, bullish Harami, not bearish Harami, bullish Harami. This would be at the end of a downtrend. And normally you have not even like half of the initial move normally, guys, that a candle presents itself and creates this pattern, which is a bearish Harami, pretty much signifying that the trend to the downside is exhausting. Now, obviously, it's a 4-hour candle, so are we still aggressively to the upside, or do we have some returns to, possibly get back to, guys? Again, give yourself the option. As we know, the market's not going to be clear when when it's around these times, especially when you're looking at something like the United States dollar or the DXY, guys. You'll see that, excuse me, you'll see that, man, I can't really get a good decisive, move within the market. I can't really, figure it out. So it's normally around these times, guys, that you want to not really focus on, stuff that you would trade in the New York session, but just utilizing this information to make sure I don't enter the market prematurely because of 8 o'clock. But also, okay, if I am trading something that is open, say like, Australian dollar, it's against the United States dollar if you trade AUD USD. Now, I wouldn't tell you that you couldn't trade that, but you can kind of get a sense of what the dollar is trying to do based off of that move, if that makes sense, guys, right? So try to stay within the parameters of, currencies that's within this time period, unless it's, something like indices. Because again, at this point, well, we've already seen that there's not a lot of news. So the only information we can go off of is price action. And when 8 o'clock hit, it's going to have that, aggressive reaction where it may pull down a little bit, spike up, gap. If it gaps, obviously that'll be a headache for some people depending on how they're trading. So you just want to be patient enough to wait, guys. Again, that's the game. But identifying this information right here, and even when you look at it on a 1-hour time frame, still same thing, bullish Harami. And it's already starting to make its initial move, signifying that if you just look at it to the left side, guys, right? Let's turn it to like a 45-minute, because I want everybody to see that, the basics in trading, man. You really have to apply basic logic, or the basic foundation, so you don't put yourself in like a confusing state, guys. Because you can know all the fancy stuff when it comes to trading, but if you're not really honing in on those core fundamentals, which is the basics, you're going to be all over the place, and it doesn't matter how fancy you get with it, guys. Based off of that candlestick pattern, right? There's a reason why I drew this, because based off, oh wow, look at this. You start breaking it down, you start seeing more, guys. Look at this. I cannot make this stuff up. I didn't even see that. Look at me, just going through the market, just going through. What is this considered, guys? I know nobody's on the call, or, if you're typing in the chat on YouTube, but what is this considered, guys? This is another morning star that we identified on the DXY, right? Now, it's on the 45-minute time frame, so I don't know how valid this morning star is going to be, but we had our retest. We had our retest right here. And are we looking for another retest? Possibly, guys, but we still got to wait for more data. If we were to get a retest and it doesn't break out of this consolidation right here, this probably would be about where the retest is, or, come in a little bit shy. Because again, guys, the lowest point of where the market broke out of, man, it's just like, I should have just stuck with just saying that this is going to be like morning star and evening star candlestick pattern stuff, because that's what it's giving us, guys. It's giving us the morning star and evening star patterns, right? After I showed you not a well-known pattern, but a pattern on a higher time frame, and when I broke that candle down, you're telling me now I'm finding another pattern that I just showed you guys. This is how important candlestick patterns are, guys. Now, that's not telling you that just because you identified that, let me just jump in blindly. Because again, you see how this popped up with the consolidation, right? This was consolidation, popped up, and then it had its retest. Same thing we got to wait for, guys, because we want to know what the direction is. We do have an initial startup, but we want to make sure we get in with at least as least drawdown as possible, guys. I'm not sure if you guys out there trade the dollar, which I would recommend, guys. In all honesty, I would recommend people trade the dollar, because how are you going to combat inflation? How are you going to combat the recession? Invest in the currency that's actually plummeting or rising. Invest in the assets that's actually tanking or rising, guys. When oil starts to go up, as we're seeing right now, guys, when oil starts to go up, eventually it's like you guys should actively either be investing in it or having a trading platform where you can buy or sell against it. So while gas is going up, guys, you know what I'm saying? You can buy oil, you can buy gas. Like, I'm not talking about going to the gas station and buying gas, unless that's something you want to do, but like buy the asset of gas, buy the stock of gas, guys. You can buy natural gas. So where you're maybe losing money within the economy, again, I've been talking about this for quite a while, where you may be losing money in the economy, guys, you're gaining it in a portfolio, you're gaining it in your trading accounts and your broker accounts, guys. So, that's all there is to it, man. So we have about 5 minutes before 8 o'clock presents itself, guys. So that's what I want to see. I want to see what the market is going to do off of that. Let's look at USD ZAR, because that kind of gives me a good narrative to kind of go over if USD ZAR is still going to be bullish, which I do believe is going to be bullish. Clearly, that's where that's what I'm looking at. Was it this one that we were looking at? I think so. Same thing. Bullish Harami, guys. Bullish Harami pretty much gives you a third of, the pattern of, the bearish candle. So this bearish candle right here has a bullish Harami, guys. And again, it's going to be like, sometimes it'll be half, but normally, where did we see that off of? We saw that off of Euro USD, right? Or was that oil? Or is that just the dollar in general? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, that thing is selling. Yeah, EU is selling. So from my experience, guys, create your parameters, and I'm looking to enter the market soon. I just want to wait till this 8 o'clock. What were we looking at though that showed us? I'm pretty sure it's the dollar, right? Maybe, because I still wanted to show you guys like the bullish Harami, because the same thing could be happening for the bearish Harami. I don't think it was the dollar. Oh yeah, no, it was a DXY. It was a DXY. All right, yeah, it was a DXY. So right here on the 4-hour time frame, bullish Harami, guys, I am looking at this potential pattern to take the market up, guys. Just be wary of, like, if you are trading the DXY. I'm not trading it right now. I'm just using it for price action purposes, guys. But if you were looking to enter on this trade, say you did enter right here, and it does give you one, obviously, there will be a retest that you'll want to jump in on if you bought at the bottom. But guys, towards like London, pre-London, even New York the next day, I can see it happen in New York, probably over London. But guys, making a retest all the way back down here, which if it did that, if you know anything about the indexes, guys, when the indexes move, they move the other markets aggressively. So where this may come like 40 points down, 50 points down, that could move like Euro USD by like 150 points, 200 points or 70, and then having corrections and then move it another 70, things like that. Things to pretty much be cognitive of, guys. So based off this pattern, I don't have the definition. I'll send you guys, I'll probably tag it in. Hopefully they haven't gotten rid of that website. So I use the Candlestick Bible. I'm not sure if you guys do, but there was a website that for pretty much new traders, because I didn't understand the candlestick Bible at first, I found a website that broke down this information a little bit easier, that has definitions that's different than the candlestick Bible. Now, if you use the candlestick Bible, I'm pretty sure you can find this pattern, and I do recommend that. But I will say that utilizing this website, and I'll drop it in the description once this recording is done, utilizing that website, guys, using it simultaneously as I'm trying to understand the market. Now, I'm not trying to, I wouldn't say try to map this up to your charts, to your own trading view, and then, or MetaTrader 4, if you do like just trade off your broker, map it up to your MetaTrader 4, and then say, okay, once I see this pattern happen, I'm going to enter in the trade. Like, no, try to understand what the definition, what the meaning is, what the requirements are. There are requirements that sanction whether these patterns are valid or not, guys. So 2 minutes in counting. I am looking at the sell for Euro USD, like I said. Let me see. So let's do this. Let's make this area, for you guys that are a little bit more aggressive, I would say you can sell there if you decide that you want to sell. I mean, obviously I wouldn't sell right now. It's about to be 8 o'clock. But, you know, once we get our break, I want to see a retest somewhere in this zone, and then, you know, take the market on down from there, guys. Sound fair? That's what I'm looking at. I'm gonna clean this up, guys. Obviously, we don't need all this going on. That's a lot. But I'll keep that. So I'll keep the same, about just slightly above this, because obviously if it shoots up, we're clearly in the wrong direction, guys. So I would wait for the break. Now this is a 4-hour. Exit number 1. So that way we're not trying to hold this forever. So me, guys, I'm gonna personally enter once we have our break. You know, I haven't entered yet. So for the experienced traders or experienced investors, obviously you guys know that, you know, if you create your own parameters, you can enter in the market. You know, within drawdown, just make sure you use a very good risk to reward stop loss, right? So that's pretty much it, guys. Let me see what the dollar index did, because I don't like to hold you guys over. Let me see if it made a gap up. Okay, it started off like selling. That kind of is good to me. We still got 8:30 going on, guys. We still got 9 o'clock. So within normally that block time, I don't necessarily I don't necessarily be on the aggressive side, guys. I look for an opportunity where price action gives it to me, but I know around this block time, we'll have a little bit of, indecision within the market, guys. But once you get your entry, just, create your parameters as far as like what your stop loss, and you should be golden. So no gap up. What I do expect is that, what do we have? Probably the next 30-minute candle. What I do believe is that this candle will probably close something like that. And then you'll have, an aggressive bullish candle pop up on the opposite side. Nothing exactly like that. What would that do? That would start bringing Euro USD down, though. As far as like against the dollar index, guys, right? So if we're expecting the dollar index to continue to shoot up, we should look at, currency pairs like Euro USD, Australian dollar against the United States dollar, pound sterling against the United States dollar, whatever currency, like Forex currency against the dollar, even with USAR. Let's look at that real quick, see what it did. That'll kind of give me a better depiction of what it's trying to do from there. Same thing what we said with USAR. So USAR will probably create, or USDZAR, I call it USAR, guys, probably create a new level of support and then take flight from there, guys. I don't see, the continuation of selling opportunity. If that happens, obviously it was inflicted by news. But again, guys, trading ain't perfect. You just use, price action, the data that you have before you to make a decision within the market. But again, guys, I thank you for your time. We're pretty much at the end of our call. I'll go back to Euro USD so you guys have those parameters. You can view the recording of this, guys, at your own leisure. So any of my videos too that you guys find value in, please like, comment on it, share it, guys. If you have a problem remembering this, please remember to subscribe, guys. Now, again, if you don't find value, I don't expect you to, but if you guys find value, definitely would appreciate it. I appreciate all 102 subscribers right now that we have, and I'm looking to expand. But I'm also looking to expand where I bring on guests, guys, where, we start opening up podcasts, a lot of things that I have planned for the future, but I definitely need the assistance of the community in order to get that stuff done. Because how do I know if that you guys even care or like this stuff, right? You may just be on it and like, man, I'm just kind of, siphoning through YouTube. So if you find value, guys, I would appreciate it if you, again, like, comment, share, subscribe. And let's take this thing to the top. So this is my expectation for Euro USD. I do believe it'll blow through that. If we don't get this move here, I do have the expectation to the market to return up here, guys. But again, mind your parameters, use proper risk management, obviously, and don't try to be in the market forever, guys. Just get your parameters and get up out the market. Look for another position to potentially re-enter the market, or if stop loss get hit, not necessarily ours, but like just in future references, if your stop loss gets hit, guys, just reanalyze the market. Don't look to try to get in, but reanalyze the market and make a decision there, guys. So I'm your host, guys, Digital Goat. I will see you guys later, man. I appreciate each and every one of you. God bless, and I'll see you guys at the top because we take